Welcome to Crochet Therapy. I'm Barbara and this is my channel. And today we're going to do a tutorial on a very easy, very simple crochet pillow. This is a beginner-friendly pillow and I think that you will find it addicting. You can use any size pillow frame that you like. This one is an 18 by 18. The pillow that I have completed is a 16 by 16. I also have some 12 by 12s. The easy way to adapt this is to chain and then measure from this corner all the way down to the diagonal corner, and you hold your chain and you touch both ends and you count your chains, your number of chains, and that is how many chains that you need to start for that particular size. So for a 16 by 16, we start out with 72 chains. So let's get started and see what we need to make this pillow. What you will need to make a 16 by 16 pillow is about 500 yards of yarn. You can mix this up, and as you can see, I'm using lavender in a metallic. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and pink metallic, Pinky Toes from Hobby Lobby, and then a little bit of turquoise for an accent. I am using a little bit of white metallic because I'm going to put a monogram on my pillows. The hook that I'm using is a 5.0 millimeter hook, which is also an H in American terms, a yarn needle, and also a pair of scissors. And Hobie sent me this pair of scissors, and so that's what I'm going to use today. I'm really excited. Let's get started. First thing you'll do is make a slip knot. For the 14 by 14, we are going to chain 72. Okay, so now I have a chain of 72, and what I am going to do is half double crochet in the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and in this third chain, I'm going to yarn over, go into that top loop there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all three. And that is a half double crochet. So I'm going to do a half double crochet all the way down this one side of the chain, and I'll meet you when I get to the end, and I'll show you what to do then. I got to the end, and you should have 70 half double crochets. That's important to know that there's 70 because what we're going to do is flip this upside down, and now we're going to work in the bottom loops of that chain, and we have to have exact measurements. So we will do 70 half double crochets on the bottom. We just start the half double crochets in the bottom. So here we're doing the first one. It might be a little bit fiddly at first, but you'll get through it. And you do want to count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and as you go down, when you get to the end, if you have 69, you put an extra one right in that end, 70. Doesn't matter, just make sure that you have 70 on this side, okay? If you have 71, pull one out. It's not a big deal. We want to have 70 on both sides because we are trying to make a square. So I will meet you down at the end once I have 70 stitches in. 8, 9. Okay, so I counted both sides and I have 70 stitches on the top side of the chain and the bottom side of the chain. Isn't that pretty? This yarn is so beautiful. I think that this honestly is going to be pretty in any color that you choose. I'm excited to try different colors for different purposes. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do, we are at the end of this row. We are going to find the stitch that started that row. So what we're going to do is go into that very first stitch right there. Now this right here, this is the 2 chains that we skipped when we started this row. We're going to ignore that and we're going to go into that first half double crochet, and we're going to half double crochet into that and half double crochet into the next one and half double crochet all the way around until we are done. And that is how you are going to do this project. Now, one thing that I want you to do and keep in mind, and I'll show you again later on in case it gets a little bit, hard to understand. But this will want to curve in. You're going to want to curve it out because you always want to work from the outside in on your project. You never want to work from the inside out, okay? Because this is the right side and this is the wrong side. That's what it's called, right and wrong side, okay? Even in crochet, there's a right and wrong side. Now, here's the thing. You may like that wrong side, but for this project, we're going to have the right side out, okay? So I'm just making half double crochets all the way down, and when I get to this end, I am just going to flip this out just a little bit. There we go. And I am just going to follow the stitches all the way around and half double crochet 1 into each stitch all the way around. And I'm going to keep doing that around and around and around and around until I use up almost all of this skein of yarn. Almost. Not quite all of it, but almost. I'll meet you back in a few minutes and we'll see what kind of progress we made, okay? Okay, as you work around and around and around, making your half double crochets, you'll notice that it makes what appears to be a pouch or a tote. And you'll see that as you go around and around and around, this is what you see. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this flat on a table and we're going to open this up. Okay? And as we open this up, we're going to bring these corners down like this corner and this corner. And what we're going to do is we are going to continue crocheting around and around and around. And slowly, as you check, this edge will slowly come in closer and closer and closer and closer until we can seam it up. And then the pillow is done. So to reiterate, we are going to work around and around and around in a circle until this part meets in the middle. And then we'll know that our pillow is done. Once we fold it this way, we will get a complete square. So that's exciting. I have not used even half of my lavender yet, and so I'm just going to continue with the lavender for a little bit longer. You can change colors at any time. You can make this a solid color. So it's really up to you how you want to proceed with your pattern. I'll give you more updates as I get closer to the end. But until then, let's just keep going around and around in a circle with our half double crochet, and I'll meet you back. As you can see, I have finished with the lavender And I did about 2.5 inches of the turquoise. And I'll show you how much lavender I have left. So I do have some left, not a lot, but let me show you. So if I fold it over, that's about how much I have left. So you can see it's not a lot, but it is some. And basically, I just eyeballed it. I looked to see how far I wanted to go with the lavender, and then I added the turquoise. Now I'm ready to start with the pink, and it's called Pinky Toes, and we'll end with that color. And let me show you how far along I've gotten. So let me bring this out just a little bit so you can see that's as far out as I can go at the moment. But I just want to show you how close I am to completing this side. So as you can see, we have about a hand's width of pink to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. And I'll show you how I load another color. So I cut that and I leave this loop, okay? And I'm going to do a magic knot. If you are not familiar with the magic knot, I do have a tutorial on my channel for the magic knot, and it is really a relatively easy procedure to follow. So I'm going to take the turquoise and stretch it out, and I'm going to take my pinky toes and I'm going to form an A. Can you see that A? Then I'm going to bring the loop around the back and through the front and make a knot. Okay. Now I'm going to take the turquoise and I'm going to do the same thing on the pink. I'm going to form an A. Can you see that? And I'm going to bring the turquoise up from the back and around to the front and down through the front. And then I'm going to pull it. Now this is very fast. I'm doing this very fast and not too up close. So if you need more help, please feel free to go to my tutorial and follow that. So then I pulled it tight. I'm going to clip it fairly close. There we go. And so now I have a continuous string, okay? And I'm just going to continue doing the half double crochet. Let me bring you in just a little bit. I'm going to continue doing the half double crochet and I'll show you what happens when I get to that knot. I usually try to manipulate the knot to the back side, and looky there, there it is, so that the knot is not to the front, to the good side. And here we go. So now we've got the pink going, and I'm going to go and go and go until this pink meets in the middle here. Okay? Once this meets in the middle here, then I'll be ready to put the pillow form in, and then we will crochet it up, and I'll bring you back when it's time to do that. So as you can see, we're getting closer and closer and closer to bringing this together. Now, in the middle, it's coming in, but you'll see on the ends, it's not quite coming in. And I kind of think that I'm going to go by the middle because these two corners, this corner and this corner, are flat. And those centers are coming together nicely. And with putting the, let's see, let me show you what it looks like when I stuff the pillow in here. Now it's going to be hard for you to see because the camera is really kind of close, but let's just take a look here. So you see, I'm going to pull this together and I'm going to enclose this up. Now you can enclose this in several different ways. You can whip stitch it together, where you take a needle and yarn and you just go through the stitches, through the half double crochet, the V at the top, and you just go through and whip, whip, whip in a circle until you go from one end to the other, and you can close it that way. Or you can crochet a single crochet down the middle, attaching both sides. There are a lot of different ways to enclose this pillow. Let me turn the pillow over so that we can see what it looks like on this side. And so you can see how the corner shows a little bit of pink, and then we have the turquoise stripe, and then lavender, turquoise stripe, and then a little bit of the pink on this side. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to crochet up the middle with this, and I am going to pull it because I don't want to make it so loose that the corners, because you can see it doesn't really fill the corners that well. Some pillow casings will fill the corners and some won't. Just depends on how puffy they are. This one seems to be a little more puffy. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want to have a lot of loose crochet around this pillow form. And once I get that done, I will be right back and we'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! I had so much fun making this pillow. I had so much fun making both of these pillows. So as you can see, both sides, it's so pretty. And then let's take a look at this one. This one is just slightly different. You know, when you make these, they're all unique. I can't wait to make some in variegated colors, in solid colors. I have some red, white, and blue stripy yarn. I can't wait to make some, yarn that is patriotic and, for the different holidays, and then some that look fall color, Christmas color. The possibilities are absolutely endless. And I'm really excited about this pillow. What a nice, nice project. And just having this in your living room, in your bedroom, propped up on the pillows on your bed, it's just going to bring a little bit of creativity into your life. So I hope that you enjoyed this project. And if you did, give me the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and so that you don't miss any more tutorials that are coming, I promise. And so I hope that you have a great day. And thank you for joining me. Stay safe, be kind, and get hooking. And much love to everybody. And I will see you next time.